Warning. This video spoils the entirety of the chapter covered within. If you wish to experience it without being spoiled, turn back now. Chainsaw Man is finally back! Holy shit! I read this. I started reading Chainsaw Man, God, I want to say like a year ago, and I didn't know what the fuck was happening because it just stopped. And then I saw that part 1 had concluded, but part 2 will resume eventually. And then the more I found out about Chainsaw Man, I found out that it's coming back summer 2022, around when the anime is coming back, coming to TV. And holy shit, chapter 98 is our return to Chainsaw Man. And I should get this out of the way. There were no good non-gruesome double-page spreads that also had impactful visuals. So, if this video gets fucked because of the black splotches that are blood, oof. But, fuck that, I don't care. Chainsaw Man is back. Holy shit. Like I said, this is chapter 98, and it's a little bit different than what I, at least, was expecting. I was expecting a direct continuation from the previous chapter, or at least following Denji's point of view for it, but no, we get a completely new character, for our seemingly the main character of this chapter, at least potentially future chapters. We could be looking at a split point of view part, because as we know, Denji is going to high school now, as we learned at the end of part 1. And the main character of or at least of this chapter, I should say, is a high schooler. So it is a very real possibility that they are in the same school. And similar, I'm going to voice what I think this possibly could be now, before I get into the actual chapter itself, because this is just something I want to get off my chest, because I was thinking about it, and I just kind of want to put it into words. Since Denji is in high school, and this girl that we come to know in this chapter is also in high school, and this girl has a fascination with hating devils, particularly hating the Chainsaw Man, or Denji. So I think that there's a very real possibility that they are in the same school, because I think the outfits could be from the same school. We saw Denji in more of a traditional Japanese school outfit at the end of part 1, and then we got to see main character of chapter 98, whose name I'm forgetting, but I will be certain to learn it when I'm reading through the chapter. Their outfits look like they could potentially be from the same school, and I think if they are in the same school, they're going to grow closer. Denji's going to find out that this girl does not like devils at all. Maybe get a sense that something's up with her. Similar to how in Berserk, Guts has the brand, he can sense apostles. I think something similar is going to happen with Denji, just more of a sixth sense kind of thing, where he's like, oh, something's up with this girl. She's like me. And kind of, I want to say it's going to be a kind of a cat and mouse thing, where this girl hates Chainsaw Man, but is falling in love with Denji. And then a big reveal happens where, holy shit, you find out Denji is Chainsaw Man. And then you have the conflict. Because I think this chapter by itself is really setting up more of a arc-long conflict. And I'm not talking like the Bomb Girl arc, or the Santa Claus arc, or I should say the Assassin's arc. I'm not talking that kind of arc, like the short, condensed 5 chapters. I'm talking the arc of the Public Safety Commission, or the high school arc. So, I think that this is going to set up a more part-wide conflict with Denji and this girl. But jumping into the chapter, because I've spent, nearly 5 minutes just rambling before getting into the actual chapter itself. So we start off in a class with the teacher saying, Starting today, we'll be keeping a class pet, the Chicken Devil. Go on, introduce yourself, talking to the devil. And the devil introduces himself as saying, my name's Bucky. I'm excited to befriend you all. So there's going to be a lot of chicken puns, if you couldn't tell. And the teacher says, 3 months from now, you kids are going to kill and eat Bucky. You see, I want you to understand how precious life is. And Bucky has the response of, what the cluck? So Bucky's kind of a dumbass in my opinion. But then we can see a few of the kids, I guess, touching him, playing around with him, seeing how it is. And then we do get a reminder of the power system in this world, of fear equals power, with someone saying, nobody's afraid of chickens, it must be a weak one, referring to devils. So devils get their strength off of fear, so if no one's afraid of a thing, then the devil loses power. Right? Just a way to re-explain the power system in Chapter 1. And Bucky airs his grievance of, I don't want to get eaten. If you eat me, then I'll die. And then a strange girl walks into class and sees that Bucky is sitting on her desk, and she thinks to herself, die. Slams the door and walks away. And we get to learn about this girl that apparently her parents got eaten by a devil. And this girl is very nitpicky, very opinionated, but not about stuff that's like minor, minor or nitpicky or huge, but more of just the common grievances. Like, if you're walking through a hallway, don't walk next to each other, you're blocking the hallway. If you're standing in a doorway, don't stand in the fucking doorway because people can't get in. And if you're sharing this, the panel is just a couple hugging, but like if you're being very intimate in public, you kind of need to learn how to respect people. But this girl is very drastic and tells them to, or thinks to herself, to drop dead. So she goes to the rooftop to get some privacy, but the class president is there and she says, you won't be making any friends eating alone. And the girl responds, I don't need friends, they're pointless. And the class president takes this as an opportunity to kind of eat with her, to be friends with her. And the first girl, so not class president, comments on the fact that the class president is eating a Chainsaw Man bun. So, God, merchandising in this world happened quick. And the class president says, I'm collecting the stickers, if you have any, gimme. And our main character says this city's corrupt. Most of the buildings are illegally constructed. We have a mayor with a DUI, a devil called Chainsaw Man playing Devil Hunter, and now we're keeping that chicken devil as a pet in our classroom. And the class president kind of argues, as far as Bucky, just hold it in. It'll be dead in 100 days anyway. It doesn't matter. And the main character is very opinionated and says, I wish Chainsaw Man and Bucky would hurry up and die. So, very clearly, she has a fairly close to zero tolerance policy on devils. She thinks that they're the scourge of the earth because her parents seemingly got eaten by one. So, yeah. And we get to see that Bucky is kind of participating in class, even though he doesn't know answers. The students are kind of playing with him, making jokes, and the entire time, this girl is just fucking fuming. And someone asks Bucky, why don't you just run away? And he says, I'm so weak a stray cat could execute me. Execute me. And one of the other students jokes around, okay, then I'll bring my class next week. Or my cat to class next time. And everyone laughing except our main character kind of voices that thing of, she's a very much a loner. Or an outcast, similar to how Denji was in part 1. He wasn't friends with anyone at the beginning, and let's be real, he didn't really have a friend until Power and Aki came along and actually grew close. But the big day is finally here. We've time skipped 3 months since the beginning of the chapter, and the teacher says today marks the day where you have to kill, where any devil hunter aspirations have to kill Bucky. And no one wants to. And main character is girl thinking to herself, finally. The class president stands up and says, the whole class talked it out and we've decided we won't eat Bucky. We eat living things, we can't deny that. But Bucky isn't a chicken or a devil to us anymore. Bucky is our friend. And the teacher exclaims, Bucky is hereby pardoned and will continue to live as a member of the class. And everyone celebrates. The teacher gives them a break from class, lets them go out and play soccer. And the main character girl goes out, stands by herself, and the teacher asks, aren't you going to join in? The girl says no. And the teacher says, high school is more fun with friends. But the girl comments, I'm here to study, not make friends. And then the Bucky comes to the girl and jumps up in her arms. And we seemingly get a name drop for this girl. Asa Mitaka. So yeah, that's neat. Bucky says, come out of your shell and play soccer with us. And the girl thinks, my name, but only the class president and the teacher even remember my name. So this is kind of her thing. And then she sees her classmates standing around with her class president really proud and takes it as her big moment to say she was jealous of them. The fact that they all had someone, but she didn't. So she's running with Bucky in her arm and trips. Squishes Bucky to death. Squishes him. Blood on her outfit. His organs are spilling out. This is the first kill in the chapter. And it is... I forgot how brutal Chainsaw Man can be, and it only gets worse. The teacher comes running out, sees what's happened, and Asa, after seeing everything that happened, she just kind of pukes and passes out. And she thinks to herself while laying in bed at home, if one person in class had to jump off a roof and that person was to be chosen by a vote, I think they'd all vote for me. I'd vote for me too. And then we get to see that they had a funeral service and a burial for Bucky, and the class all just glared at her. So she's crying in bed saying she wants to die, and there's a knock at the door, and it's the teacher. And the teacher says it was the class president's idea to visit Bucky's grave. I'm sure Bucky will forgive us up in heaven if the three of us apologize together, says the class president. And the class president or the teacher asks Mitaka what's wrong because she's not crossing her road with them. And she said it's just the crossing signal's red. So she's very much by the book, even though she has all these thoughts of kill all the devils and stuff. That is still within like the by the book goody two shoes logic, because like devils are bad in this world. So yeah. And the president says, you're always, 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 always such a goody two-shoes. Mitaka, did you know that Mr. Tanaka apologized for Bucky's death to the whole class on your behalf? Do you know that Mr. Tanaka was the one who told me to befriend you? Do you know that Mr. Tanaka likes you even though he's having sex with me? This entire time, her body is shifting, becoming less and less human. And we get to see the reactions of... We get to see the reactions of Mitaka and the teacher as they're caught off guard when the class president turns into a devil, seemingly, or as we find out, the Justice Devil. And she says, I made a contract with the Justice Devil to find out how to reach my happy ending with Mr. Tanaka. I just need you to die. And Mitaka is able to dodge the first attack, and the class president says, I held it in, but I can't take it anymore. Nothing I try works because you're alive. You know what the Justice Devil said to me? Trip her. She'll fall and crush Bucky. I laughed my head off. You and Bucky taught me how precious life is. Thanks. And then we get to see Mitaka's inner thoughts. And she says, 0.1 seconds before my impending death, I felt oddly relieved. Oh, I wasn't responsible for Bucky's death after all. Oh, the class president was jealous of me too. Oh, it must be like that for everyone. Everyone's jealous of somebody. If I'd known, I could have had a better life. Maybe I could have had friends, or even a boyfriend. I wish I tried living just a little more selfishly. And then her eye looks up at the crossing light and sees two beaming eyes. And it looks like some kind of bird creature. And it says, if you want to live, your body will be mine. And then Mitaka stands up, and the class president says, didn't I just kill you? And Mitaka grabs the teacher's head, pulls it off, and uses Tanaka's spinal cord sword. This entire time, the teacher is screaming. And we get a very cool shot of Mitaka with the teacher's head in her hand, the spine coming out with all the sharp add-ons that it now has. And the class president asks, what the hell are you? And she responds, what the hell am I? My name is War Devil. Die for my warm-up kill. And the monster, which is also class president, says, no, you die. And boom, just like that, Mitaka takes off the demon or the devil's arm. Well, I guess hand. And she says, I'll take a fine hand. I'll take that. Hand grenade. And the arm turns into a hand, like an actual grenade that looks like it's giving a thumbs up. And she throws the grenade, and she's holding the grenade, and swings the sword through the devil, the Tanaka spine sword, cuts it in half. And as she lets go of the head, and the class president kisses the teacher's head, and Mitaka throws the hand grenade back, causing the devil page spread that is on screen. The devil blows up, pieces of bits and guts flying everywhere, her walking away. And I'd like to say this is very reminiscent of Goodbye Eri, which was one of Fujimoto's one-shots that he did during the Chainsaw Man hiatus. And there are two examples of something just like this, of someone walking away from an explosion to their back. I don't know if it's the exact same layout, if it's the same positioning or whatever. It just looks very similar to me. And then we get to see Mitaka's more of her thought process, and she says, just you wait, Chainsaw Man. I'll make you vomit nuclear weapons back up. So, basically what happened, because I do this for every chapter, is we get introduced to a new character who's at school, and she has a very large disdain for devils. But then she becomes one. She is the ultimate shonen protagonist of, I hate this thing, but I have to become this thing. Think Tanjiro with Nezuko. He has to deal with Nezuko being a demon, even though he's going to kill all the demons, or at least kill the big bad. Everything is always, I hate this thing, but I am this thing. So I think it's a very real possibility that Mitaka is a recurring character in this thing. I don't just think it's a one-chapter setup for something that's going to happen far later down the line. I do think she's going to be a consistently recurring character. Probably a duo protagonist, similar to how Power and Aki were with Denji. I do also see her being the story-long protagonist, at least for a while. Maybe she'll have a change of heart after Denji reveals that he is the Chainsaw Man to her. But yeah, that's my prediction for what's going to happen in the rest of this part. I already voiced at the beginning of the chapter review, so whatever. That was 13 minutes ago, so whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed the spoiler tag thing at the beginning. I'm trying that because I just figure I should. But yeah, all in all, it's nice to see Chainsaw Man back. This was my first time reviewing a chapter, obviously, but this is my first time reading a chapter as it came out. And it's really nice. I think Chainsaw Man is going to be weekly, if not weekly, once every 2 weeks, but whatever. No matter what, I will be reviewing every Chainsaw Man chapter, along with every Berserk and One Piece chapter. I think 3 series currently, with chapters coming out, is fine. Berserk is a monthly thing. One Piece is a weekly thing usually, with its hiatuses every so often. And that comes back in 2 weeks. And Chainsaw Man, I'm going to guess, is a weekly, I think. But yeah, this has been my walkthrough of the chapter. Now it's time for my breakdown. Or my review, I should say. Yeah, I just did a breakdown. I like it. It sets up a lot of possible storylines. It is giving us a very, I think, fleshed out character in Mitaki. Um, I do think that her hatred of devils is kind of shonen cliche, but like, it's this Chainsaw Man where shonen cliche is used as a gag. Like Denji's consistent thing with he wants to touch boobs is a pervy character shonen thing, but it's his like main character in part one. So Fujimoto definitely knows how to use these shonen tropes to get what he wants out of the story. He's very good at that. I also think that this will act as a villain origin story or a possible hero origin story. We could get Mitaki being a vigilante killing devils, and then later down the line we're reintroduced to Denji. This could act as almost a time skip for him, where at that point he's had the kid, the reincarnated Makima. He's doing things to try to find power again, so we don't have to spend all the time with Denji figuring that stuff out, because I think that'd get a little tedious after a while, because he has to search for a while to find power again. Makima, the kid thing, his entire thing is just having to deal with the kid, make sure she's okay, make sure her powers don't flare up and she doesn't kill anyone. But the Makima plot could be not Makima, sorry, Mitaki plot could be a very promising way of splitting the focus off of Denji during those very slow parts to give us more of an action-based thing. So if Denji's gonna be out of the action for a while, so he doesn't really have to recover because of his devil healing ability. Sorry, Jesus. He doesn't really have to have a respite of time to do that. He just kind of does that on the fly. But if he's having to focus on the Makima kid or school or searching for power, we can use Mitaki as a way to get that action that we need in the plot to keep readers engaged, but then also throw Denji into the action every so often. We can also 100% see Mitaki killing a devil, either in self-defense or to be a vigilante, and Denji rolls up and he's like, "Bro, you're cool, you're so strong, we should join up." And then just immediately she starts attacking him, and he has to fight her off. But given Denji goes full chainsaw mode, and from what we see, Mitaki doesn't have to. She can just do shit with her powers. That'd be very interesting, because then that'd be a one-way identity reveal. But I didn't mention the War Devil. Holy shit. I'm almost certain we were not introduced to the War Devil or even talked about the War Devil in part 1. So a whole new devil is really cool. And God, what a good thing to have such a powerful devil of. Because war is this thing where everyone's afraid of it. Even if you don't want to admit it or you don't think you are, war is this thing where everyone's afraid. Because no matter what, war means people will die. And I think the War Devil kind of goes along with like the Violence Fiend and the Violence Devil, all that kind of stuff, the Gun Devil, all that. I think that the War Devil is those guys, but put together. So with all the issues that the Gun Devil had for the world, being this uber powerful thing, the War Devil has to be stronger. Because most wars are carried out with guns, which would increase the fear of guns and war. All wars include violence, so every bit of power that the Violence Devil has, the War Devil also has. So this thing is like stockpiling power from so many different sources that I think this thing can be so fucking cool. But yeah, the War Devil seems like a really cool power, because it seems like you can just create weapons out of anything you touch. It might have to be organic matter, because the two things that she makes weapons out of is a guy's spine and a cut off arm. So it might have to be organic, it might not, because she turned a hand into a hand grenade. So maybe there has to be some kind of relation with, like, a spine is kind of blade-like, So you have to have a spine for a sword. So you can't just create things. You can't just create a gun out of a hand. You kind of have to. The weapon has to be somehow related to what it is turned into from. So whatever the source material is. I could be wrong though. It could legitimately just be her imagination is all that it takes. Which, God, that would be cool too. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot more I have to say, other than it's nice to see Chainsaw Man back. And for a one chapter review, this video is now 25 minutes long, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting like. If you're new, make sure you hit subscribe, because I do reviews of, like I said, Berserk, One Piece, and now Chainsaw Man every time a chapter comes out, no matter what. One Piece is coming back soon, so keep your eye out for that. If you wanted to say anything about the chapter, your thoughts on it, your critiques of my review, anything that I might have missed breaking it down, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, until next time, stay safe, have fun, and read more manga. Okay, guys. Bye.